Hey everyone, Chad Martin here, co-founder of the 5 Keys to Publishing. And I wanted to talk to you today about blogging and how important blogging is to your writing career. You see, a lot of people, they overlook this very important step, and blogging will give you an internet platform to help you spread and market your book. Now, when people think blogging, they're thinking, oh, I've got to set up this big website for blogging. It's hard, and it's actually, blogging is very, very simple. There are a lot of platforms that'll give you the opportunity to do that if you don't want to build a website. The importance of blogging cannot be overstated. And you don't have to blog every day. You don't have to get up every day and say, oh man, I've got to write this 1,000-word blog. Honestly, you don't. If you just wrote a blog, at least 300 words, and you did that once a week, and to keep readers updated on the progress of your book, what you've got going on, what you've got coming out, what it does is it go ahead and starts generating interest in your book, and it starts it early. That way, when you do get your book published, you're not starting behind. You see what I'm saying? Does it make sense? You want to start out and already have your audience built in where they're waiting for it. So let's talk about the top blogging platforms. And it's very important that you choose a platform that's right for you. But that being said, you don't have to go out and spend tons of money on a blogging platform. You just don't, especially if you use these top 4 that I'm about to give you. These top 4 blogging sites are going to help you get your message out there. Now, I'm going to give you the top 4 blogging platforms. And I'm giving you these 4 because I selected these 4 because it's ease of use and they're free. That's the perfect thing about them. They're free. And if you're a writer and you're struggling, you don't want to have to go out and spend tons of money on this when you absolutely don't have to. Now, you may have to spend a few dollars, but it's going to be next to nothing. Like the first one that I use is WordPress. It's a free platform. Now, what you would want to do is buy a domain name. Now, the great thing about WordPress is that when you're using WordPress, it doubles as your website. So it's a website and a blog site all in one. And what that does is it gives you a bigger internet presence. Most websites today are not built from code. They use WordPress themes because there's thousands of these out there that you can use and customize to your benefit for the look that you want to. And you don't have to be a web designer to make one of these work for you. It's a fast, quick, easy setup that you can get started in just a few minutes. I love WordPress. I don't get paid anything from saying that. Of course, I get nothing from that, but WordPress is great. I love it. That's the one I highly recommend. But when I first started blogging years ago, the other one that I used was Blogger. It's also been called Blogspot. It's another free one. I love Blogger. I think Blogger is great because you can just go get set up. It's the name of whatever your blog is going to be. You can go in there and set your blog up quick, and it's easy. You can use it, and you can start blogging immediately and start getting your message out there. So if you're not going to use WordPress, the next one I would say is Blogger. Use Blogger. It's trustworthy. It's been around so long, they've pretty much ironed out all the wrinkles and all the kinks in it. The third one I would suggest is Tumblr. You've probably heard of Tumblr. Now, Tumblr has gained a lot of attention here lately. It's one of the hottest ones going. As a matter of fact, Tumblr was purchased by Yahoo just recently. And now that's a micro blogger. And like I said, it's very, very hot at the moment. But it's more of a visual blog. So it won't be a wordy text blog as much as visual. And there's nothing wrong with visual. I tell you, if you've already got book artwork done, you want to go ahead and put that out there, it's a great way to do it. Tumblr's another great thing. As a matter of fact, you may want to use Tumblr in conjunction with WordPress and Blogger because it's going to reach another audience. And the fourth one I would say, the fourth one I would say would be Medium. It's relatively new, and it's really Twitter's blog setup. And they're still working the kinks out of it, but it's really great. It's really easy to use, and like I said, it works hand in hand with Twitter. only drawback is you can't host it to a domain. It doesn't really work that way. And so it doesn't feel like you own it quite as much. So they're still working some of that out. But honestly, it's a real easy platform to use. And another thing, and I'll tell you what, I'll throw another one in here for you. There's also Pinterest. Everybody's heard of Pinterest. Pinterest, you go and you pin things out there. Now, it's a short little blurb or blog, but it goes to show your product. And you can use Pinterest. I've used it. I love Pinterest. For some of the other things that I do. While not a traditional blogging site at all, you can use things like Pinterest to your advantage to get out there and still give you another presence out there. And I would say do that. Use Pinterest in conjunction with your blogging site. And again, those are my top 4. Like I say, with Pinterest on it, even though Pinterest is not a blogging platform, you can still use it as such to a small degree. But I use WordPress. That's one I like. Blogger, I've also used it before. Real easy to use. And these are free. You don't have to pay for them. The only thing with WordPress you would have to buy is your domain. And I suggest doing that. Buy to your domain. That way Google knows it's out there. And it starts ranking you. And then blog. And you want to blog at least once a week. You don't have to blog every day. And I touched on that briefly. But you don't. You don't have to blog every day. You just want to blog out there. That way it keeps your presence up. You keep putting content out there. Now, you don't have to blog about your book every time. You can blog about your writing progress. You don't have to blog about things from your book. But what I would suggest is that you do add things from your book. You go out there and say, hey, would you guys like to hear an excerpt from my book? And then just write a short one. It doesn't have to be long. You don't have to put a whole chapter out there. I definitely wouldn't. But you want to put a teaser out there. You want to start collecting interest, and that's the whole point of blogging. The whole point of blogging is to generate interest in the topic that you're talking about. I know, like with my book, Hell County, I would release little excerpts out there of what I'm doing, of what's going on in the book, and I would give them a couple pages of the more exciting parts that I knew would draw them in and generate that interest. And that's what you want to do. You want to get connected with the audience. You want to build your audience, and you want to stay connected with them. You want to make them feel a part of the process, and blogging is the perfect way to do that. So if you're not blogging and you've got a book coming out, then now's the perfect time to start. And it's okay if you've already got your book out. Start now anyway. Go ahead and start promoting your book through blogging. You don't have to just go out and pay all these other websites to say, here, I'm just going to advertise my book this way. You want to get connected with your audience. The best way to do that is to blog, and it's not hard. It's easy, and if you're a writer, this should be especially easy for you. 300 words, I would say minimum. That way it really starts, because Google's funny. They have all these different methods for ranking and what they pick up on and what they don't. And to me, 300 words is one that gets you out there a lot quicker. And I will say this, you can also video blog. Video blogging is really catching on, and honestly, you can use YouTube to do that. And if you're using WordPress, it's real easy to make your YouTube video, put it on YouTube as your blog, and then insert that video inside your WordPress blog. So now you've got really 2 blogs going on. You've got your video hosted on YouTube, and now you're using it also inside your WordPress blog. And that is a great way to get your message out there. And not only that, but it kind of doubles your exposure. And trust me, this is the good kind of exposure, and that's what you want. You really want everybody to see your stuff. I can't say it enough. I really can't overemphasize how important it is for you to stay connected, to explore all avenues, to getting your book out there, to generating interest in it, and blogging. It's the way to go. So I hope you enjoyed this real quick, and I know it's been quick, this real quick training on blogging. I highly suggest you do that, generate interest. And what you're going to find out is it's fun because you're connected to your audience. You'll get feedback, and you want feedback. Feedback is what you need to help make your writing better, to help keep people talking about your book, and whatever you're working on. And that's the great thing about the internet today. If people like your stuff, they're going to tell other people. Same way if they don't like your stuff, they're going to tell other people. But if you start generating interest, you get people involved in what you're doing, people are going to fall in love with it. They're going to fall in love with you because you're connected to them. And people get behind other people, other products that they're connected to. So that's all I've got today. I just wanted to throw that out there. I wanted you to know that if you're a writer and you're serious about getting your information out there, and honestly, even if you're not a writer, if you're not even worried about the writing part, maybe you've got another business, blog about what your product is. Generate interest in it, get people to talking about it, and because if you're not blogging, you're wasting a valuable tool that you could be using to expand you, which is your brand. You want people to know about you. You want people to know about your product. Blog. I'll tell you, it's quick, it's easy, it's great. It's a simple tool that you can use that a lot of people have overlooked when they're trying to get their stuff out there. So blog, guys, I appreciate your time today. And remember, love, laugh, and leave a legacy for others to follow. I'll see you guys on the inside.